Hey, Anton. So, good question, right? Why even bother hiding a lot of this stuff? Good question. Because I spend so much time listening to all the smart dudes into these, the people like deep thinkers, and basically, it's hard to wrap your mind around at the start because it's stuff. It seems like a make-believe fairy tale, but it's actually not. Because there's old ancient stories of us humans. We're pretty much just slaves on Earth, and we're in a prison, pretty much. And we aren't obviously God. We're not creators at all. We are the created ones. Now, when you hear a lot of these language, they then follow on through and they say things like, humans have a lot of potential. They just don't know how to untap it yet. Now, when I first heard this as a kid, I'm like, that sounds a bit hippie-ish. Like, what do you mean untapped potential? Does that sound like are you trying to like sell me a book to get motivated? Oh, you know. But then I come across Jon McMoneagle, and I've actually made a video on him. It's one of my videos here. Jon McMoneagle, Remote Viewing, Crypto, and Our Sixth Sense. So John, he was employed US government. He was psychic spy number 1. And he has like over 600 100% perfect matches of drawings. He was able to, one of his most famous cases, he was able to draw an underground submarine built by Russia that could launch pretty much nuclear weapons in the 80s. And the US government was not aware Russia was building it. So they didn't even know they were building it. They knew, they had this big area. It was blacked out. They didn't know what was going on. They had there was intelligence saying, hey, something around this area is going on and it's very big. And he drew, they're building, it looks like a submarine and it can launch these big nukes, and it's constructed in a new way. Russia actually was advanced back then in 1980s. It was a Cold War. And he was able to do that. And it was interesting in the story, because this is real, man. So he gave the picture to the generals and they said, impossible. You can't build a submarine in this thing that's not even in water yet. And you can't bend the pipes to be able to shoot that way. You can't do that. Otherwise, we would have done that. They were wrong. He was right. So they launched the thing 100 days later. I think 112 days later. He actually wrote the number on the paper, 112 days they're going to launch. So this is a real story. So once I started learning of that, I'm like, now it's not just humans' untapped potential. It's like, oh, crap. Now it's like national intelligence stuff out here. Now it's things where it's like, oh, wow. How do you actually hide stuff from people peeking in? You know, so that's when you start seeing things like that. You can quickly start to see national military things getting spooked by these things out here. But as well, when I look at all these stories, you got to have this perspective as well. There is, you and I, we live in society, we're in a bubble. And there's what we call ontological shocks, which is like your culture. And if they shock us too much, there's fear and there's panic and everyone loses their minds. And government's job is to just make sure there's no shocks. That's it. That's it. It's not even to tell you the truth. The government's job is not to tell you the truth. The government's job is to keep you calm. Isn't that crazy? You think about that. It's to keep you calm. That's why, when the aliens, do you notice they always report, aliens, maybe they're from outer space. No, the NASA already knows they're coming from within here. They're like next to us. They're like here now. They walk amongst us. They're inside Earth. There's life everywhere, So, but they don't say stuff like that because it spooks people. Because it's easy. They say, don't come over there, that land over there. They come here as tourists and they go fly back up. So once you start understanding this, you start saying, wow, everything's a psyops. They're just telling us exactly what they want to say to just calm everything down. They use specific softening words. Like, I don't even remember, even in Iraq 2003 war with USA, they did not call American assassins. They called insurgents. American insurgents. Like, what's this insurgents word? No. We blew apart their heads. We shot 12 guys in the head. Okay, the bullet went through their skull, the headshots. No, they were insurgency or whatever. You know what I mean? So It always used to tilt me. Why use these words? Now you know why. It's just like to minimize panic at all time. So that's why, like, what else is that? What would be panic inducing? You're like, hey, I'm looking at a giant tree. What about this giant tree? Well, the giant tree, I'll show everyone. We can like read it now together, right? The notion that certain mountains may in fact be remnants of ancient tree stumps have undergone the process of petrification warrants considerable exploration. The Jakarta tableland in Tunisia rises 2,000 feet above the surroundings, presenting an intriguing case. This extensive mesa measures huge amount, 1,500 meters in length, or is this 1.5? 1.5 kilometers in length, encompassing nearly 80 hectares. The concept petrified. So, see, we're always thinking like, dude, it's just massive. Okay, it's a super massive tree, but why? But maybe it links to our past. Maybe there was giants. Maybe the tree, who planted it? You know what I mean? Like things out here that we're just not meant to know yet. We're just not meant to know yet. You know, it's funny because you and I, like, these things creep into society and then they're accepted over time. Yeah, but like you can also go back, okay, you and I have a phone. I can like call you on the phone right now and we can just start talking. We literally start talking to each other. Yeah, but 700 years ago, in like the Middle Ages, when there's like farmers in Middle England, right? And like Braveheart is playing out from Scotland. Yeah, yes. People aren't meant to know that you could just like, you know, talk to each other on like some little metal thing that they don't understand what's going on. You see what I mean? Like society just hasn't crept up with it. So I guess we're just not ready for it now. Eventually we will be ready, but how they introduce it and how that happens, it's like, it's outside of our control. Another thing as well, which will blow your mind is, a lot of the abductees of UFO aliens, when they do talk to them from time to time, we've got to remember, like, there's all these stories and stuff out here, but there's a common theme. And the theme is from Mr. Alien entities is we are just monkeys, okay? We're not ready. They don't want to spook us. They don't want us to like worship them. Yeah, otherwise the whole experiment, I guess, just blows up. So you can speculate what that means, but they're pretty much, they don't use the term blow up, but they're just like, hey, it'll scare you, too much fear. That's not how it's meant to be. They want to like introduce it slowly. And by the way, we do the same things in this world right now. If you go to off India, the Sentinel Island, they still have bows and arrows. They have no electricity. You've seen Sentinel Island, right? The North Sentinels here, no electricity. They do cannibal stuff. You see what I mean? So, like, we do the same thing there. We can see them. We never get too close. They don't even give them food or anything. They just leave them. They go by. They're just like, okay, look at them and come back out here. So they don't want that. And you can't even go there. If you go there, you get too close to them. I think like 90% of the population was wiped out. I think some white dude went there. One of the generals. They went there. He just basically, I'm not joking. He just like coughed, and like 90% were dead because their immune system couldn't like take on the diseases. So maybe it's the same thing with us. By the way, a lot of alien dudes as well, when we interact with them, the humans that come back have radiation poisoning. They're sick. They're sick for like a week or two. They can't sleep properly. They put a Geiger count next to them, and they got radiation poisoning. They're like a Geiger count of like 3.5. They get nauseous. They get headaches. There's also like one of them. Their watch wasn't even ticking for like 48 hours when he came home. There was one farmer, I think it was in Argentina. Yeah, when he came back, he was the one. His story's like weird, right? So he had sex with an alien. Yeah, they put him in a room, and they brought out this woman. It was like an alien, but he said it looked like exactly like a human, and they had like this thing watching him. And yeah, when they were done, he said these two little like dwarf alien things came out in these little suits. They did something, and then he like blacked out, and they just dropped him off back at home. Yeah, he told his grandkids about it. He's just a farmer. He's just a full-on farmer. Barely went to school, had no idea. He goes, the ship comes up. I come out here. I fornicate with an alien. And he said the exact same story to the day he died until his deathbed. He think he died maybe in the 80s or 90s or something. Yeah, he told his children, grandchildren, like to this day, and he joked about it because he had kids and a wife and stuff. You know, I think he made a joke like, yeah, they were better than like my own wife or something. I think it was like, I remember hearing some joke out here. So you can see a lot of these things, man. It's so multifaceted out here. So yeah, that's why stories are like giants, where we used to be, where we come from. I don't really know. Maybe those stories. Remember how I started this video by just telling you about, do humans have untapped potential? We don't know. Stuff we're not meant to access yet for whatever reason. Like, just think about, by the way, untapped potential. Think about Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared. Think about what Hitler would have done if he had that capability. My gosh. You see what I mean? You see, like, imagine, giving a freaking hand grenade, multiple hand grenades, rocket launchers to, like, there's a bunch of monkeys in a zoo. What are they going to just blow each other up? You know, so we can really deduce this from, like, a lot of other things out here. But when it comes to, like, things we still don't know, even though we have all the things of the past to give us examples, I still want to know, why wouldn't you guys just tell us it was a giant tree? Why? Because it breaks too much of the paradigm for whatever reason, you know. And then you're probably wondering, like, but who's in control? Who is controlling this information? That, my friend, that's a rabbit hole itself. Because what we've actually found is, the more you explore, the more you actually come to the conclusion it's them. That's the crazy part. Because it's not like some, like, dude with a mustache who's a human who's sitting in. He's like, oh, you are allowed to learn this. You're not allowed to learn that. No. It's them. They are controlling it. How are they controlling it? Well, I don't know, man. We're just monkeys in a zoo. It's like you and I, we're monkeys in a zoo. We're like, you can't even see through the glass, and just, like, bananas drop from the sky, you know? And then, like, maybe, like, this water fountain appears from the thing and you can drink water, but you have no idea what electricity is. You have no idea there's a guy pushing a button in the background. You don't even know what time of the day it is out there. You have no idea. Are you in a city? Are you in a park? You have no freaking idea. That's you and me where we are right now. So that's how you can see, like, we can guess, but ultimately we don't know the answers. Like, we're going to know the answers one day, slowly but surely. But yeah, it's pretty cool when you think about all of it.